Alright guys, this right here is a North Georgia candy roaster, and this is the first time I've grown it. It's a winter squash and it overwinters well, but this one I'm going to cut it open. It's nice and solid, and I'm going to harvest the seeds because I want to be able to share it with some of the people in the community which would like to have some and try growing it. So I'm going to cut it open. I don't know if I'm using the correct knife for this, but look at it guys. It's nice and ripe inside, and I'm gonna obviously taste it because I heard it's sweet. So we're gonna just cut a thin slice off, and I'm gonna do a taste test of this as it is in its raw state. And it's delicious. It's crunchy and it's sweet. It's almost like a sweet potato. So it's a good fit for my taste buds. So I'm just gonna cut this down in half because it's long and it's heavy. The largest one I grew is 17 pounds. So this is what it looks like inside. I'm going to just cut this open and try not to split the seeds. I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm just going to cut one side. Then I'm going to flip it over to the other side and make that cut. Just like so. I don't even think I'm using the correct knife for this, but whatever. It's working as best as I can. But I'm just going to cut this open and pull it apart because I don't want to split the seeds like I said. It's nice and thick in there, and it's like a more of a dry type squash. Look at all the seeds, guys. That's a lot of seeds in here that I can actually share. So that's a good thing. And I'm definitely going to be growing this. And this is only at 1/2 of this. So there's a lot of seeds left in there in the other half. And I have a couple more of those that I can save the seeds from. So I'm going to go ahead and retrieve the seeds from this squash. And I have yet to cook and taste it. But I'm pretty sure it's already a winner from the taste I got when I cut that little slice of it while it's raw. And this squash, I believe you can juice it because I juice squash also in its raw state. I steam it, I bake it, I roast it. And so this type of squash is definitely a winner for me. And guys, I do enjoy growing different varieties every year if I can. And I do that because I have limited space for these types of plants. They are runners. I have to make trellises for it. And I think vertical growing works best for these running vines. It's not too heavy, and I prefer it on the trellis, sitting on a trellis, simply because the bugs will get to it if you're not able to protect it from the worms and the bugs that bore into, because they do bore into the skins of or rind of these pumpkins. So it's better for me to put it up on a trellis and allow it to run and sit up there. So that way I have a better shot of being successful in growing these to its full maturity and being able to save the seeds and save it to overwinter. So I'm going to sit these right here on this paper plate and allow it to air dry. So that way I can save the seeds and send them off as soon as I can. All right, right here, I'm going to cut the second piece of the squash. And I just want to see how far down to the tip of that squash the seeds would grow. So I'm just going to cut this open with you just to show you how far down in there would grow. Oop, I didn't give it a good cut. Now I feel like I'm fighting with this squash. Poor thing. So I'm going to try to cut it a little better and pull it apart. Come on. I don't think I lined it up to that first cut good enough. So that's why it's fighting me and I'm fighting with it. But this is what it looks like. Lots and lots of seeds in there. Oop, this piece is going to break off. All right, so look at that, guys. The seeds did not go all the way down to the bottom. So there's a nice piece of seedless flesh at the bottom there. And if you notice, this is more of a dry type squash. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier in the video. So this is going to make I think, really nice candied squash or a pie or so. It's that type of squash, and I can say that just from the taste of it and the texture of it so far. And yeah, I can crunch on these because it's tasty raw, and I can also juice it. So this is it, guys. This is my North Georgia candy roaster that I grew for the first time. If you haven't done so, you can try growing it if you can find the seeds. I think it's worth it. If you like sweet potatoes, you'll also enjoy it. And it's the time of the year when people make a lot of pumpkin spice and powdered pumpkin and dehydrate, and people with the freeze dryer can use these to make powder or flour or what have you. There's a whole lot you can actually do with this. Make preserves with it. You can freeze it to use in the future, but most of all, you can overwinter these with no type of refrigeration or preservation, because the rind is cured enough that you can let it sit in a cool, dark place and allow it to store up for a few months. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time right here on Fifi's Urban Homestead and Lifestyle.